public's knowledge, it has been re-recorded, so you might see 2 recordings. Our streaming live service is managed by Google. Google, if y'all haven't heard, has had some issues in the last week, so that's the reason why it's not being streamed correctly, okay? But again, minutes are taken. If there's any questions, any disputes, please let me know. Okay, so back to my reports. Revenues and appropriation status, is there, these are mine. Is there anything that you guys have any questions about on those?
Questions, comments, concerns?
What I would like to point out is real estate, if you guys see it on your revenues, we are about 78%, so we really should be about 50%, so revenues are up, it's being collected. People are paying property tax, so again, that shouldn't bottom out. We're estimating we should be about 50% right now, but we're at 80%. Okay, so that was a big thing. Income tax is coming in about 10% higher than what was budgeted. Again, I don't like to make a prediction on that until probably the 3rd quarter. And you guys have a copy of your appropriation status. Nothing for you to sign yet. Okay, so is there any questions that any of the council members have? Again, public, please, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My email information is on the website. You can come in and stop in and see. Is there any other questions before we accept the motions for the reports? Okay, so this would be an appropriation status report, a revenue status report, the payment listing report, the comparison of budget and appropriated report, the receipt listing, the cash summary by fund report, and then you guys have 2 reader reports.
Is there a motion? Thank you, Craig. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you,
Craig,
David.
Okay, Ross?
Yes.
Barry?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
And Becky? Yes.
All right, moving on to committee
And I
report.
have 2 reports to sign.
Sorry, make sure you sign those.
Yeah, those ones. Kept trying to steal my packet there, Barry.
All right, moving on to committee reports. Joyce will not be giving a finance committee update. Obviously, Courtney has everything right here if you'd like to take a look at it. Nothing obviously has been discussed since the last go-around because there hasn't been another finance meeting.
And if I can make a, please make a, if I can add on to that, please make sure that you're updating or you're seeing the reports or the meetings that are updated on the website.
Yes.
Because again, we changed the July 2nd meeting to be the following Wednesday, and I believe it's the July 9th. So those meetings that are usually held on the first Wednesday of each month have just been moved back to the week after, okay? So just please make sure you're updating and looking at those.
All right, takes us to Pleasant Township. Becky.
I have nothing new. They only meet once a month, so they will be meeting on Monday, July 7th at 5 o'clock.
Wonderful. All right, squad. Joyce will give you an update next go-around. Fire, Ross.
Our next meeting is this coming Thursday at 8 o'clock on June the 26th.
Okay. Water, wastewater, Craig.
Our next scheduled meeting is July the 9th at 10 a.m.
Okay, thank you. Streets, Ross.
Nothing since our last meeting, and our next meeting will be at 5 o'clock on July the 14th.
Okay, thank you. Parks and Recs, Joyce. There are a number of motions that Joyce has asked us to make. How should would you like to go through these? Shall I
Yeah,
just start,
you
or
may-
do you want to start? Go
Get it
ahead.
done, it's up to you.
Go ahead.
Okay, so there are about a couple motions here that has been requested to the mayor and I to ask on her behalf. The first motion is to allow the Special Olympics to hold a baseball tournament at the Villages Park on August the 23rd, 2025.
All right. Is there a motion for that in a second?
Make a motion.
Thank you.
I'll
Second.
second.
Thank you, David.
That's a good program.
Didn't we already do, oh, this is the
This is
Special
different.
Olympics.
This is different.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
So this was Craig and then David, you
Yep.
were second?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, and roll call, Barry?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
All right. Next motion.
Is a motion to allow a party at the park event to be held on August the 30th of 2025 at the Villages Park.
All right.
And I
Anyone?
apologize, but I think the recording is still not working. I'm getting a couple different messages.
Okay.
I just want to be clear
All
to the
right.
public.
We're in the middle of a motion, so has someone made and seconded that?
I'll second.
Well, you're going to go first.
Yeah,
Who
David
wants to go
was first.
second?
Is there a
I
second?
need a second on that. Thank you, Craig.
Okay, so that was David, first motion, Craig was second.
Yep.
Roll call, David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
and Barry.
Yes.
All right. Next motion?
The next motion is the motion to allow the American Legion Post 417 to hold and sponsor a beer garden tent during the August 30th, 2025 event at the Villages Park. This would be during the same day.
Yeah.
And she also wanted to have us include that the permits have already been asked for through the West Jeff zoning department because you have to have a permit for a tent.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'll make that motion. I'm on the Legion Committee.
Thank you. And is there a second? All right, thank you, Ross.
So that was David, Ross?
Hmm?
Okay. roll-
Discussion?
Sure.
Yes.
Just devil's advocate, alcohol at the park, we have a no alcohol policy, that's why she's bringing it before. And I'm sure for the Legion, to be able to go out there and have a beer garden, they have to apply for special permits as well, not just through West Jeff, through,
That's, yeah. Now Department of Liquor Control.
Yep.
and then that has to get confirmed. We have to sign off on it since it's our property, and then the sheriff's department has to sign off on it as well for this event. So
And the insurance. So
So-
I'm glad that you brought it up because that's the point
I just
I think
wanted,
you were going to make.
yeah, and it's just a community member that represented organization, just was a little concerned about it. But again, if all the rules have been followed and,
Well, this would be step
That-
one, so they can't do anything
Right.
else until we
They
actually
have
say.
They have to stay in their area.
so the
Well,
more
yeah.
events, the better. And they have a lot of rules around it, so it will be roped off and everything like that. So I will make that motion.
All right, is there a second then?
What, I thought we were still
So,
in
well,
our,
we already have.
Oh,
David
I'm sorry,
Ross.
pardon me, excuse me, you're right,
yeah,
pardon me.
thought we were still in a discussion.
are.
I, like I said, I'm with you though, no permit, no insurance, no beer. That's my thought.
That makes all the sense in the world.
So do you guys want to maybe change that? Would you feel more comfortable if you would allow it once the permit has been approved and the insurance has been approved?
Yeah.
And make it as a motion like that?
Yeah, so let's restate the motion, shall we? Motion to allow American Legion Post 417 to have a beer garden tent during the August 30th, 2025 event at the Villages Park, pending approval by Ohio Department of Liquor Control and issuance of a permit, along with appropriate insurance coverage.
I think that's a good move. That way it'll make it legal. They go through the, I know, they'll feel good about it.
Did I get that right?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. All right, may I have a motion for that, please?
You got the motion.
Okay,
And I'll second
so
it.
we
I can't-
restated.
I'm sorry, I can't hear, like, hands going up, so if you could please say aye or,
Since we restated the motion, we'll again. Okay,
okay, so
One more
that,
time.
one more time. David?
Okay. Got it.
Okay, and then will you be seconding?
Sure.
All right, thank you.
okay, so that was Becky, okay. 'Cause usually I'm down right, and so I can't see when people raise their hand. Okay, roll call, Craig,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes?
Ross,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes,
David?
Yes.
Okay, and the last motion is a motion to accept $1,175 in donations from a softball tournament that was held at the Villages Park on June the 10th through the 13th. Funds will only be expended and the revenues accepted from the Parks and Rec Fund.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was Craig. Second was Becky. Roll call, Becky,
Yes?
Ross,
Yes.
Barry,
yes.
David,
Yes.
and Craig.
Yes.
Okay, motion's passed.
Thank you. That's all we have for Parks and Recs tonight. Record retention.
Yeah,
David.
we will be meeting on July 11th at 8 a.m. I don't think anybody wants to be there on the 4th, so we'll be meeting then. We'll go through all the papers.
Okay, good deal. Nuisance abatement, Barry.
Good motion for help.
Yeah, so I have her, once you get your message.
Okay.
Once you state your message, then I can.
Well, I don't really have anything new except for that we're gonna meet on July 14th at 6 PM.
And you do have some legislation in here, so that'll be,
Yes.
okay. All right,
All right, may I please have a motion to approve Heather Basil to serve on the Nuisance Abatement Committee for the remainder of 2025?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
so that was Craig first, Barry was second. Okay, roll call, Ross,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
and Becky.
All right.
You don't have to.
I don't have to abstain?
You do not have to abstain to vote to put her on the committee.
I'll vote yes.
Okay, planning, Ross.
We haven't had a meeting.
Okay, and those are only on demand. Zoning, Craig.
Like you said, they're only on demand, and the zoning meeting is the last Tuesday of each month at 6 p.m.
Okay, so we'll go for the next go-round. Okay, tree beautification, Becky.
Yes, so we had 2 meetings since our last council meeting. We had one on June the 10th and one on June 17th. And we did get a lot accomplished. We had a tree flyer we got out to all the Madison Plains alumni, trying to get some support there. We have really been working on our grant, which is coming up here in a minute, and I want to explain a little bit about that before we vote on that. But we've been doing a lot of work on our grant, and I appreciate the whole committee, and I appreciate Courtney's time that she spent helping us tweak that grant. And so I'll get to that in just a minute. But we are experiencing a few flower pot issues out there. I don't know if anyone noticed or cares that there's a few where the flowers have just died. So we're going to systematically, after this fall, we're going to take all the flower pots up and refill them with rocks and dirt and things. It's just got so compacted down in some of them that the flowers are flooding and they're not. So we're going to replace 3 of those here within the next week, and then, like I said, after fall, we're going to empty all those pots and start them over. And then also, I want to thank Bill Storr, Jacob Keever, and Cheryl Wilson, who went out after our meeting this past Tuesday and helped weed for an hour over across the street. I was really generous of their volunteerism, and I greatly appreciate it. And let's see here, what else? I may think, we are going to move our first Founder's Day celebration. We were hoping to have it this year because Mount Sterling was founded June 26th, which is just in a few days, of 1829. But we will be doing our first official celebration for Founder's Day next year when USA is celebrating 250 years. So that'll just give us a little more time to get things ready. But we have done a lot of work out at the oldest tree site, and hopefully next year it'll be a big celebration and the community can all come out and enjoy that with us. So, and then I guess lastly, since the first piece of legislation is about the grant, I just wanted to explain a little bit about the grant to everybody. We're super excited because it's a no-match grant, which means Mount Sterling pays 0. So it's a win-win. We had an idea, but now we've divided into 3 sections that we're going to do for the community if we are awarded this grant. We are going to put a tree line at the park where the fence used to be, the vinyl fence that kind of crumbled and is no longer there. So we're going to put a tree line there. And then we are also going to reserve some money for our annual tree giveaway, which we do in April on Arbor Day and give away to community members trees. And then we also have another big chunk of money set aside for trees that are needed in the downtown area, the neighborhoods area. We have we have 2 members of our tree committee that are continuing their education and working with ODNR, and they're on a little tree community academy, and they're going to probably with input from the mayor, with input from the committee or the community, talk about different areas that need trees. And so that'll be the 3 parts of this grant. So there'll be trees throughout downtown and the neighborhoods, and then there'll be trees, a line of trees put at the park, and then there will be trees supplemented for a tree giveaway. So really excited about it, and the best thing about it is it's no match. So Mount Sterling does not have to pay anything, and hopefully we get awarded this grant. We only applied for a $40,000 grant. We could have applied up to $100,000, and but it's our first go round, and we wanted to keep it smaller. So hopefully every year or 2 we can do another project. So anyhow, that's coming up right now. That's all. And our next meeting will be I think we're gonna try to switch them to Tuesdays, so two members can come, so I will get with Courtney on the date.
All right. It takes us to ordinances and resolutions. Currently, Resolution 2025-01 has been tabled. Is there a motion to untable it?
I'll give you that motion.
Okay, is there a second? Is there a second? Is there a second to place it on the first reading? All right, not having a second, it fails for consideration.
Motion has died.
That takes us to Resolution 2025-03, a resolution authorizing the mayor as designee to execute a renewal of the village's property and liability insurance.
Okay, this is on the second reading.
May I have a motion, please?
Yeah, that motion.
Thank you, David. Is there a second?
Yes.
Thank you, Ross.
Okay, Ross. So it's David Ross. Okay, roll call, Craig,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Okay, motion's passed on the second reading.
All right. Go ahead.
All right, this is Resolution 2025-04, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute a contractual agreement between the Village of Mount Sterling and Pitt Stick Law for a legal service for nuisance and abasement citations and declaring this as an emergency.
May I please have a motion to suspend the rules?
Yeah, that motion, sir.
Thank you, David. Is there a second?
I'll second.
That was David first, Barry was second.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, roll call, Becky,
I need discussion about this. So this is a resolution, I guess what I'm not sure about, 2 weeks ago, I went to a nuisance meeting, and Mr. Pitstick was there. And the nuisance committee, I was just observing, the nuisance committee was discussing hiring him to enforce nuisances instead of the law director that we already have. So, and then when he showed up a few minutes later, I was really, I mean, I don't even know what you guys voted yes to pass, because it was just kind of, it's something we already have, and you guys all voted yes. And I'm not really sure what's going on and why. Okay, so we have in our budget a certain amount for lawyer fees, and it's already budgeted. So are we taking out of his fund and moving part of it? Because this is,
First of all, it's a line item, right? So council can allocate anything in the legal line item to whatever it wants to.
right,
Yeah.
right. But I read, it's not written right here, but I read in the resolution that was a flat $10,000.
Well, that's up to.
yeah,
Oh, it said a flat $10,000.
No, that's
Up to.
up to.
a flat up, so basically it's not an hourly rate, it's gonna be on a basis when needed. So Barry, you can jump in
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, well, the only thing, we're trying to go after the Washington courthouse legislation, which is, instead of taking people to court, it is to give them notice and we go and clean their place up. And Mr. Pitstick was the one that wrote that legislation. I think he would be the perfect person to help us enforce that legislation. That's,
So as, on a financial standpoint, like, I guess what Andy was trying
Yeah.
to state is that it's not any reappropriation of the
Yeah,
budget.
we're not taking
So-
anything from the general fund.
That's right, you're reallocating monies that are already reserved for legal services.
Okay.
So this is nothing in addition.
Right, but it said up to 10,000, and I know his contract is up to 25,000. So what if we get a lot of legal expenses here and it goes,
We'll have to come back to council.
Yeah, we'll have to do that.
and
Yep.
I was just wanting a good explanation of why we need two
They're
attorneys.
two for two different purposes, right?
Yeah,
And in all honesty, I'm really expensive. I'm not to you all, but once I have to go to court and file things, then the rates would go up to a point where it frankly doesn't make any sense for me.
and if we get this new legislation passed, we will not be going to court. That's the great thing about the legislation.
so we're just gonna be paying him hourly, but up to a maximum of 10,000.
Exactly,
When used,
When needed.
when used.
yeah.
Hourly,
Correct,
okay.
hourly. And we don't anticipate hopefully, we will only have to use this once or twice. And then,
Okay, so the.
So I'm
motion
back on
stands.
motion, yeah, I'm back on the motion to suspend the rules.
David was first and Barry second.
All right, so now we do roll call, please.
Becky,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Craig.
Yes.
All right. May I please have a motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings?
Got that motion?
Thank you. And Craig?
That was David first, Craig was second.
Mm-hmm.
Ross,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Finally, may I have a motion for approval, please?
Have that motion, sir.
Thank you, David. And Barry, second.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was David first, Barry was second.
Yep.
Roll call, Barry,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Ross.
Yes.
Okay, resolution 2025-04 is passed.
Okay, let's move on to resolution 2025-05.
2025-05 is a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute an agreement with IGS for technical services to reduce utility costs. So I would like to speak a little bit
Yes,
on that.
please.
So we have IGS currently for electrical utilities. So as you know, since I've been here, we have always taken advantage of trying to get utilities at our facilities cheaper. And what happens is as inflation goes up, of course, cost goes up. So having these type of technical service contracts, they are to continue to keep it at a flat rate. So if the condition, like right now, air conditioners are, running like crazy, it has it at a flat rate, so it can't go above a certain rate. Now, as we know, this fluctuates kind of like the stock market every single day. So what the rate is at this point now is probably gonna change when the rate comes, when you guys finally approve this, okay? But I like to keep it on a 3-reading basis. So as you, in legislation, the legislation is expiring on July the 17th. So this is gonna get in here right before it expires. So this would be just for the gas purposes. You guys have already approved the electrical. This would be just for the gas, okay?
Okay.
All right, may I please have a motion to place on the first reading?
I'll second.
Okay, Ross, David?
Ross was first?
Yep.
Okay, David was second? Okay, roll call, David?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Ross?
Yes.
And Barry?
Yes.
Resolution 2025-05 is passed on the first reading.
All right, may I please move on to resolution 2025-06?
Yes, 2025-06 is a resolution to set forth as required by section 709.023 of the Ohio Revised Code. The municipal services that can be furnished to a 35.362 plus acre lot located in Pleasant Township upon its annexation to the village of Mount Sterling of Ohio, and declaring this as an emergency.
May I please have a motion to suspend the rules?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Craig. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, David.
Okay, so.
Let's do a roll call.
Was first by Craig, seconded by David.
David? Mm-hmm.
Roll call, Craig,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
All right, may I please have a motion to place this on the first, second, and third readings?
Have that motion, sir.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Ross.
Okay, David first, Ross was second. Roll call, Becky,
Yes.
Ross,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Craig.
Yes.
And finally, may I have a motion to approve the resolution 2025-06?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Ross.
Okay, so Craig was first, Ross was second. Roll call, Ross,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
and Becky.
Yes.
Okay, resolution 2025-06 has been passed.
All right, thank you. Go ahead.
And if I may, just quickly on that one, obviously the applicant is here. This is for a potential housing project. What we did today is really just a statutory step that doesn't commit the village to anything at all. It basically just, this will go to the county commissioners when they have the hearing on the annexation. This will be a box that is checked. We fully anticipate the county commissioners frankly have to approve it because it's an expedited annexation and they filled out the paperwork correctly. So this will be coming back to you all to accept it once that has been done. So this is just a very early step in the process and you still have a say in the process moving forward.
Thank you for that. Does the applicant wish to speak tonight at all? Yes, please come on down.
First and last name.
Aaron Carew, I'm with Arbor Homes. Address is 1896 Farmhouse Lane.
Thank you.
Just first off, wanted to introduce myself, introduce Arbor Homes. Thank you all for having us tonight. We really appreciate it. We're a single-family home builder based out of Indianapolis. We've been in business since 1994. Back in 2021, we entered the Columbus market, and interestingly enough, we built 47 homes, I'm sorry, in Deer Creek, and our very first closing as a division was in that subdivision. We really had a lot of success in there. We feel like we added value to the community, and we really look forward to being a part of the community moving forward, hopefully. So, thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out. All right, that takes us to roundtable.
The 4th of July coming on here, this will be number 249, so next year will be 250, and it's hard to believe how, we're really the youngest country in the world, really yet. It's the strongest country. And it's just amazing how those men in Philadelphia that afternoon cracked the Liberty Bell, but we got what we needed.
There we go. There we go. Other comments?
Yes. 4th of July, I just want to piggyback off of David. We will be having our annual 4th of July parade. And if you're interested in being a part of that, come to the community center on July 4th at 9:30 a.m. is when lineup is, and at 10 o'clock is when the parade will begin. The Sheriff's Department has been informed of our travel route, and everything's good there. And you can call me, and if for some reason you just find out that day or the night before, just show up. You don't have to be on the list. We'd like it, so we kind of get a feel for how many's coming, but please show up. Any organizations, peoples, it's an election year, it'd be a good time for people to put a car in for that. And then I just want to thank everyone that was involved in Summer Jam. We had some questionable weather, unfortunately, but the time that we did have when it wasn't raining, it was really nice. The kids did get a good 6 hours in Saturday before the rain came, and they loved the bounce houses and the characters and all the games. All the kids were walking home with arms full of toys and stuff for free. But thanks to all the volunteers, thanks to all the businesses that donated. You know, it truly does take a village to make events like that happen. So thank you to everyone that came out. And then the last thing I have to say, again, in regards, I do have to say something else in regards to this tree. You know, we have to get this submitted by August. And this grant, I'm not sure why I can't even get a second to get it untabled so we can vote on it. It is a free grant. Unless you absolutely hate your community and you hate trees, then you should, this is a no-brainer. This is an easy yes. It's not one of the hard ones. It's easy. So I'm not really sure why, you know, we can't get any support. The village would pay nothing for this, and it would only benefit the community. So I ask you guys to really, I mean, it feels real personal, have to tell you. It feels real personal. So these people on this tree committee, other than myself, there are 7 volunteers, and they bust their butt for this community, planting flowers, holding events, giving out tree bags, picking weeds. And this, you don't want free money for your community, so you must hate your community, is all I know. So shame on all of you.
Point of order.
Yes, go ahead.
Don't shame us. You just say you're.
Shame yourself.
No. If you'd asked for a little bit less money, maybe I would have voted for it, but.
It's free.
It is not free.
It is.
So quit saying it's free. It
It's
is not free. We have to set that money aside for 2 years, and if there's, yes, we do.
Nope.
Is that
You don't
not
have
true?
to set that whole amount aside. We can use it throughout the 2 years. You get fully reimbursed. That's how all grants work, Barry. Every grant works like that.
If you'd asked for a little bit less money, maybe.
I would have thought you would have
People
wanted
on
me to
your
ask for
committee
all
don't
of
even
it.
agree with you, so I don't want you to, don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
If, we should have asked for the whole amount
You should ask for
to
a
help
little
for
less.
the community.
Okay.
It's free
It's
money.
my vote. I can say what I want
You
to.
can.
And I said,
You
you're
can.
asking for too much money. I don't care if it's free.
It is
We
free.
have to put that money aside. If we have any road repairs, if we have any major things that happen, we have to hit in our fund. So we have 2 choices after that. We either have to raise water bill or we have to get a loan. I don't think we're in a position.
For these trees, that's just not true. That's just a lie.
And on that note, is there anyone else who wants to contribute to roundtable?
I'd like to bring up about the fireworks. They'll be at the American Legion at 9:30 PM on July 4th.
Okay, thank you.
In the movie night, I'm not sure if anybody wants to say that on the Parks and Rec Committee, but the movie night is this coming Saturday at dusk.
Okay.
There are giveaways, and Robert, are you guys doing the? I'll be there with concessions. Okay, and concessions will be held, movie will be premiered, so Paddington Bear, I think is what it is.
Good deal. All right, well, if there's nothing else for roundtable, we are adjourned. Thank you. It is 7:42.
Sorry. Sorry.
Sorry.
Well, I'm not sure if the recording was